Hello, everybody. This is Etienne Marcel, with the Sports Inquirer, and welcome to another edition of Fighting Peaches. We're progressing through our preview of the upcoming football season for the Sun Belt Conference, highlighted by our audio and video interviews at Sun Belt Media Day earlier this summer. And we did speak with South Alabama head coach Major Applewhite as the Jaguars prepare for the 2025 season. Before we get to Major and things going on with South Alabama, as always, to follow everything that we do, head to the mothership to sportsinquirer.net, premier site for news and notes in the world of sports. You can also go to our social media platforms on Twitter/X, Instagram, and Facebook. And make sure you like, share, and subscribe to our audio and video hosts, which include YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, and more. As I mentioned, we were able to go to the Sunbelt Football Media Days and speak with Major Applewhite, head coach of South Alabama. Here he is. Enjoy.
Like there were some things that we left out there on the field. At the same time, I felt like a very inexperienced defense gained some experience as the year went on, and we got better. My natural issue or hesitation or reservation, whatever you want to call it, after the season was, we had some really good young players who got better as the year went on, or were going to showcase their talents. They're not going to be here anymore. Whether it's our quarterback, our running back, our right tackle, three of our four starting corners. We had a lot of good young players, but with $20.5 million as a salary pool to start with in Power Four, you can go buy backups for 200 grand. Our kids don't believe that they're going to be backups for 200 grand. They think it's starter money, but you can go buy that. So the issue or the reservation became how are we going to replenish this roster without that money? These people have $20 million to come buy our players, but we don't have players. We don't have money to go replace our players. So that is that in that in and of itself is what myself and a lot of other group of five coaches are trying to figure out from January through August is you're getting bought off by parts. If they have $20 million and they need a $2 million quarterback, right now they're down to 18.5 million, but they got your quarterback, but you don't have $2 million to go buy the quarterback that you just lost.
Right.
So that's the focus from January through August as to how do we fill those spots, fill them with this quality of players we have, and create a routine that will get them ready to play good football in September.
You promoted Paul Petrino to your new offensive coordinator. Uh, it's still, I know he's with the staff before, but what's that transition been like, just elevating him to that spot?
It's been fairly seamless for me because there's a lot of trust and carryover. Has not been around the offense as long as I have in terms of the terminology. Certainly been around offensive football longer than I have, but the terminology, how we do things, it's not foreign. He's a pro. He's coached for a long time, very experienced. Sure, there's always things in offenses. You call it apple and I call it orange. And there's learning those things. Just basically a second language. But understanding quarterback play, having coached quarterbacks, calling the offense from a quarterback position, calling the offense from a wide receiver position, he's done both. So for me to be able to coach the quarterbacks in conjunction with him running the offense, and have a quarterback analyst coach along with me and Zach Chrysler, I feel like we're going to be just fine.
What about defensively? Just how's that unit looking overall for you?
The inexperience up front is obviously going to be my biggest concern issue because it's so close to the ball. But we have a lot of great young talent. It just hasn't played a lot of football. So how we grow through the first 2 to 5 games, 6 games is going to probably indicate how the season goes. And we're going to have to understand there's going to be some growing pains there, but we've got some good young talent we got to be patient with. Same thing at corner. We lost 4 corners. Neely, Webb, Fletcher, and Fortenberry were all four that played for us last year. One gave up football, the other three portaled to different places. So we are starting over at corner. I think it's good for some people because it's a fresh start, a brand new opportunity. Um, Even though some of those guys made some great plays last year and gave up some plays last year, I'd still always rather come back and play with the guys that I had because you know a little bit more about them. But that's the fear of the unknown thing. You might be better off. You just don't know it yet. You're just getting brand new players in who have not, donned the field, and that's what's crazy about this portal is sometimes you might think you lost a lot, and then you pick up 2 players, and halfway through the season the next year you're going, my God, I don't know where we would be if we didn't get these guys. And it's like, well, coach, you had to lose 2 guys you thought you didn't want for us to get the 2 guys that you're now praising. So we'll find out. We're going to put the ball down next week, and we'll start practicing, and then we'll start playing games in about 6 weeks, and we'll know exactly what we are.
Absolutely. Hero Coach Applewhite, got a few more minutes here. Just some quick fire questions I've been asking everybody. Favorite stadium that you've coached in besides your current home down in South Alabama?
Favorite stadium that I've coached in.
You've played in quite a few too. If you want to playing, that's fine too.
The Rose Bowl is a unique place.
Yeah.
That's a I've been fortunate to coach there when I was at Rice, South Alabama, Texas. Had a chance to play in it as a freshman when we played UCLA in '98. That's just because the pageantry. That's a special place to. But probably being a Group of Five kind of guy. When we were at Houston and we played Florida State in the Peach Bowl, a New Year's Day bowl.
Yeah.
It's damn near impossible for us to get to those bowl games. So when you finally get there, they don't leave the doors propped open.
Yeah.
You're just kind of like, all right, little guy, lucky to be here. So that was probably one of my favorite places to play was I think it was still the Mercedes place there before they built the new one.
Yep.
With that game, the Peach Bowl, beating
Yeah.
Florida State.
And we're running short on time, but what's the best coaching advice that you've given and even received, or something you're told and you try to carry it over to your guys?
I'll be real fast. Gus Bradley, defensive coordinator, has son, NFL longtime coordinator, his son Carter Bradley, who coached for me, or I coached him, played with me. Met his dad on a Thanksgiving Day dinner, and he said, "Major, what's your philosophy?" I rattled it off to him, and he said, I had a really cool experience. I went to a coaches convention in 1992, and Gene Stallings challenged everybody to have a coaching philosophy in 20 words or less. He said it wasn't until I really put it into words that I knew what I really wanted to be as a coach. I'd suggest you do the same. So I'll tell you a story. The very next year, I had that philosophy. I had it down. I had it in my head. Our coach got fired at Seattle. Pete Carroll took over. Pete Carroll brought me in, asked me my coaching philosophy. I rattled it off in 20 words. I mean, like it was a Bible verse. And Pete was having these exit interviews with everybody, and we all thought we were fired because he was the new head coach. And so all of us have got all of our things between 4 and 5. People are starting to leave the office. They've got everything in boxes, and kind of giving hugs and some wet tears, and not very many dry eyes. People, we gave it a good run. And he goes, the general manager came by and said, Coach Bradley, Coach Carroll, I'd like to see you in his office before you leave. He said, okay. So he went back up there. He said, Gus, I don't want you to go anywhere. He says, what do you mean? He says, you're not fired. I want you to stay here. He said, why? He said, you brought everybody in this morning and basically kind of, gave them the token interview to see if you wanted to keep them. Why are you keeping me? He goes, I asked everybody the same question. I asked them what their philosophy was. And you were the one guy who had it crystallized, and I could tell that it was genuine and that you had thought about it. You would put it into words and you try to act on it. And, hell, Gus, we're going to always make mistakes. We're going to call the wrong plays. We may even draft the wrong guy. But if we have a center stone, a philosophy, then we can act on it daily. And that's probably the best piece of advice I've ever gotten.
All right, Coach Applewhite, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
And good luck this season.
Thank you.